It's back. The yellow bonnet anyway. Right, so welcome back. It's been a while since the last video. I've been busy working. Summer for me is the busiest time. I'm away from home a lot, so not much chance to play with cars, or at least the time I do get to play with cars at the weekend means I'm away during the week, and that's when I'd normally be doing the video editing and uploading, which I can't really do from the hotel. Although having said that, I have copied the software I use onto the computer now, so I shall have a go at doing some footage this week, which will be this video. There's every chance though that the hotel high Wi-Fi and stuff is too poor to upload, so I might have to leave it. So instead of Wednesday uploads, it might be like Friday or something like that. Depends. We'll see how we go. Catch up time. As you can see, the bonnet's been painted. It's not 100% match. You probably can't tell on this image here. It's actually ever so slightly lighter. This is the second time it's been painted as well. First time it had really bad reactions all along the centre ridge from all the crap that was underneath it, and then I blasted it off. I've got some pictures of that, of me blasting it, which is a bit of a shocker, putting a nice shiny bonnet into a blaster, but there you go. And then it's been painted again by Des, much better this time. And I've started to put the stickers on it, the two sides, two bonnet stripes and a circle, but the circle I had was way too big and it went across this centre ridge here, just in there, and as it came over this side it was distorting. Oh, I've scratched it. You probably can't see that, but there's a scratch in there. Yes, I was trying to get it to go over the ridge, and it's trying to curve too many ways at once, so it didn't want to work. So, and I've compared the circle that I got, which is exactly the same as that one over there, to the ones that are on the car at the moment, which are these ones that came as part of the Vtec kit. Same supplier, but these ones are 50mm smaller than this one. Look at the size of it, which is why it was extending so far over the bonnet and why it wouldn't go over that centre ridge properly. Other stuff I've done on the car, I'm just working through a few bugs and stuff at the moment, trying to sort out the intercom that's a bit hit and miss. On the passenger side, it's the boom that comes round towards your mouth is a bit knackered, so I've had a look at that, but I can't see any reason why it shouldn't work. I've replaced this, which is the outlet, USB outlet, with a fresh one. Hopefully that'll work. I need that for my sat nav and my GoPros when I'm going to Mini in the park. I've also sealed in the clock, nothing you can see there. Put some silicone around it to stop it from rotating, because it doesn't sit in the bracket very well, it just rotates around with vibrations. So that side of the dash had to come out, and just silicone around that and replace that USB plug over there. You can see. Other things I found in the boot. It always stinks of petrol, does this car, and it was really bad in the boot, and you can probably hardly see it, but under there that's the return. That pipe there is the return for the tank, and it was almost all the way off, so I've been able to push it back on and just tighten it up. Hopefully that'll sort that out. I've also been messing about with this car, which is the Vtec one, B18C4, and what happened with that is this was part of the wiring that went from the alternator to the starter motor, and this red wire here was too thick and too inflexible, so it had a connector the same as this on the alternator outlet, the power out, and because this wire was stronger than this with the engine vibrations, it sheared that off. The metal part touched onto the body of the alternator, and it started to melt the wiring loom all the way back through the car, well, all the way from the alternator back to this side of the car to the starter motor, which is in there somewhere. So it was along that way and out that way. And as you can see here, this is a remnants of the wire. There was a join, and again the connector was the weak point, and that was what melted first before the rest of the wire melted. So yeah, I've had to dig out the entire wiring loom out the front of the car, replace all that, which meant having to take the radiator and everything out, which was a real fun job. Yes, I had all that radiator that's in there to take out, and while it was out I cleaned up all the bits and pieces that were in there, because Chris was never cleaned in his engine bay, so it's all good to go again. I've also been doing some work on the red hot, hunting out the bits and pieces, because I had issues with the drive shafts. So what I've done is I've hunted out the original AMT drive shafts that are in that bag there. These are the original AMT 17 Allegro 1750 CV joints in there, and I've got some of the circlips that go onto the drive shaft. I think it must be that end. Yeah, that end will be the CV joint end, and that end will be the Vauxhall end, I think. But anyhow, I've got some new circlips from Richard Mini Spares North, so hopefully I'll be able to convert it back to the original drive shafts, and that should get rid of me problem with the overlong drive shafts catching during suspension movement. So that's the update on the red hot. When I did that last video about moving the cars about, there was a piece of video that didn't work or record or whatever. It was missing. It was a brief introduction to that green Mini that I was sitting in, which was another 8-port. The plan is to get that one ready for Mini in the Park for Karen to drive down, providing we're still going, which is a different story altogether. It needs an MOT, it needs a clutch, probably. It needs a rear wheel bearing, and it just needs a good look over. I've already greased up the suspension and bits and pieces, so that's all good to go. So I'll hopefully do a walk around video on that one. I'll also try and do the requested walk around video on Bumblebee. I was going to do it at Skelton Show, but too busy, far too hot, and the England football game was on as well, so that was more important. Yeah, so the next event is next Sunday is the Whitehaven Motor Show, which is in conjunction with Taste Cumbria. We're going to have a bit of a club display of classics on that, and the weekend after that, Saturday, it'll be the MOT for Austin, the Green Mini. Sunday we'll be taking Bumblebee and Austin, and Steve's coming in his 1071S, and we're going to Croft Nostalgia Festival. Weekend after that is Mini in the Park, with 3 or 4 cars going down. We'll see how we go. And yeah, and then the weekend after that is Dale Main for the Cumbria Classic weekend, or Cumbria Classic Motorsport Show weekend, or whatever they're calling it now. I forget exactly, but we got about not far off 20 cars booked for that at the moment. So yeah, the crack will be to basically get all the cars ready over the next week or so for Mini in the Park, because obviously that's the big trip out. Again, like I said earlier, I'm going to be working away, so I'm only going to have like Thursday, Friday nights and the weekends, but obviously the weekends we've got shows on, so I'm going to have to do a bit of work on the cars of a night as best I can. But fortunately this one, which is the Clubby Estate, is good to go now that I fixed that. It's super reliable. It had a knackered battery, but he's replaced that, so yeah, we're going to be good to go. So as I said, next few videos will be show related probably. I've got some brakes to put on Bumblebee as well. Whether I do some time-lapse stuff on that or not, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I shall see you next time. Alright, one more thing. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want. I'm on 98 subscribers, so not far off that magical 100. Yeah, it's a milestone. It's not a million or whatever compared to some people, but it's a milestone. It's 100 more than I had when I started. So here's to some more footage and more subscribers.